So, at high tea with Mum, and look how cute this set is. Do you want to show off your little spoon there, Mum? It's actually all matching. Very cute. It's very, very cute, isn't it? Oh, I feel so proper and posh. That's what she said. Okay, let's get in frame. So, as you can tell, I just got back from a little brunch with my mum. If anyone in Lovin is interested, this is where we went. They're the same people who own Monza's. If you're local, you know what I'm talking about. And they also host little tea party and high tea if you go in and book. Oh, look at all this dog hair on me. Sam and Vinny wanting all their cuddles, the babies. And then we went op shopping, Mum and I picked up a decanter. I've just given it a nice old wash. I don't know if anyone is interested in this sort of stuff, but it's cute, it was cheap, and hopefully Titus will use it. And then in terms of like the clothes, I found this Stella McCartney blazer. Let's see if you can see it from here. It's just a classic black blazer, buttons and everything. It has the little, like, I don't know what you call it, back split, fully lined with this nice little stitch detail. And then as well as that, I also picked up just a like quilted camo green puffer jacket with some cute gold details and orange lining. I don't know what brand this is. There's no tag on it anywhere that I can see, but I just thought it was a good one to add to my autumn winter collection. I have brought 3 books home with me for the weekend. I have the Clockwork Orange, which I think I'm going to try and finish now. I am up to page 31 of 200, so only a little bit in. Hopefully I can get through it more. My issue with it at the moment is actually nothing to do with the plot, because I know it was going to be really intense. Like, our main character goes around pillaging, beating up people, and there's already been a rape scene, so massive trigger warnings for everything violent. And obviously I'll let you know if, sitting on my toes hurts. Yeah. And of course, I'll let you know if the triggers like get even worse. But the reason I've actually struggled to read this book is because of the time periods slang. In the blurb, the foreword part, it says that it will take the reader no more than 15 pages to master and revel in the expressive language of Nadsat. And I'm 31 pages in and have no idea what they're talking about half the time, so that's a thing. Then I am going to try and finish The Devil Wears Prada. I just want to finish all the books that I have on the go, and I am also 34 pages into this one. It is well into evening now, and I did manage to finish A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, and it was intense. So you know how I said there were heaps of like trigger warnings for this? It got so much more intense. So, oh, hey Sam. Do you want to come talk about the book? Come here. Come here. You want to say hi? Hi to everyone. Yeah, hi to everyone. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Lick for you thought it was good, or who's that? Okay, what was I talking about? Yes, so many more triggers. So out of context, these won't be spoilers. There is a lot of rape. This is from a rapist and a victim perspective. There is also a lot of really brutal violence, references to war crimes as well as murder, and like just people beating up on others as gangs, you know, just really horrific stuff. But the message of the story I found really interesting. It's kind of playing with this idea of if people are inherently good or evil, and along with that, if you can change it, if people are born with that nature. I'm honestly really torn with how to rate this, because I found it so hard to understand the slang. Even as I got through it didn't get any easier for me. And even though there was an index at the back, just so many of the words were slang or jargon, I just couldn't keep up, if I'm being honest. But the, how do I describe this? The originality, the how hard and brutal this was really unique for me. I have not read anything like this before, so I'm going to sit down, let my thoughts ruminate, and use my new rating system, my power rating system, to see what power this book has. If you haven't seen it, I will link it somewhere. In the meantime, let's see what you guys have voted for me to read next, either continuing with Devil Wears Prada or reading In the Deep. So let's have a look. Oh, I'm actually quite surprised. Devil Wears Prada is, I thought everyone would go for the deep because I've seen that around on social media a lot more, but Devil Wears Prada it is. I'm really hoping things pick up and I can get into the story more. So it is 11:30 at the moment. Oh, that is some bright sunshine. And I have just been working, really. I've just had some weekend jobs that I needed to get done for work, giving kids feedback and all of that fun stuff. But now I am going to finally relax and read before we go out for lunch with the family. I did read to about 100 pages into The Devil Wears Prada, and I found myself getting into it a bit more, but I feel like this is going to be one of those rare occasions where the movie is actually better than the book, simply because it has more of the action and the fact that it's a fashion kind of movie, and I feel like the book isn't doing the best to actually describe the fashion itself, at least so far. That's my thoughts. But in the meantime, I'm going to stop looking at a screen and look at a book instead. Look who stole the dog's bed. Hey, Floyd. Hey, girlie. Hey. Oh, look how cute and young we were. Okay, that's that done. But I also just remembered I'm on a mission to steal, to borrow, to use for my brother's, one of his old army jackets. So if you don't know, my brother is part of the New Zealand Army. And as you know, camo and all of that was in fashion a couple of years ago. And I never hopped on that bandwagon, but I mean, now I want to. So I am going to take one of these and just make it mine. Don't worry, I asked permission. He said it was okay. Let's have a look. So we have option number 1, which actually has the German flag on it, but I like the length of it. I like how boxy it is. This lighting isn't really the best, is it? Hang on, I've got a mirror. Oh wow, this mirror is dirty, but this is what option 1 looks like with the German flag on it. I think I like the length of this one. Next option is this more of a like lightweight sandy brown. I'm not as big of a fan as this one. I think it's just because it's lighter and I want to be wearing it more as an outer jacket. This would be more like collared shirt kind of material that I would tuck in, but okay. Oh, and this last one also has a German flag on it. So I wonder if it's any different to that first one. Oh, it's kind of a bit boxier. I actually kind of like this. As long as people understand that the German flag is not me supporting German wartime events. To be honest, I don't support many wartime events. War is horrible. What? Anyway, that's like a completely different conversation, but I can tighten this one's sleeves up to fit my little wrists. I like this. Reese, this one's mine. All right, team. Oh, let's get me in the shot, eh? All right, team. So technically it's Monday evening. I'm really bad at vlogging like in front of people and when I'm at home because I like respect other people not wanting to have their faces online. So just to recap you on what happened on Sunday, I went out and had a really amazing lunch at the Savannah with my family in Titus. And then I came home and essentially just did a bit of schoolwork and prepared for the new week, which it now is, and it's a Monday. And as you can tell, I'm getting into my dressing robe because I'm actually just pulled in sick for tomorrow. So no, I actually am. It's not sick, I'm actually feeling pretty sick. And normally if I catch it early, I get over it within 48 hours. So I'm hoping if I give myself tomorrow off, I'll be right as rain again for Wednesday. But anyway, that means even though I was really bad and I skipped Sunday, I'm going to now do a Monday evening Tuesday. So this whole vlog has gone from Saturday, skipping Sunday, Monday evening Tuesday. I know it's everywhere, but I'm still getting the hang of vlogging and I'm so self-conscious of doing it in front of other people. I always find I'm more natural when I'm by myself. But I guess a reading update. As you know, I finished Clockwork Orange. I'm going to rate that soon enough by using my per system. This one though, I actually lied earlier. I hadn't gone to 100 pages. I am now at 100 pages. I thought I was in further than I was. And I can feel that this is putting me into a reading slump. And I just can't have that. So I'm going to spin the wheel and choose a different one from my TBR. Let me show you what I've got on at my TBR at the moment. So this is the TBR shelf. Technically, I need to put the deep back on there because I haven't read it. And these two also I've actually read. So this is what I'm looking at. A couple there I really want to get to, so let's spin. All right, where are we? Wheel. Right, can we see? Oh, I might have to put you on the floor. So we did start a series last time, I'm pretty sure. So let's trade that one out and replace it with romance. Give it a good old tighten and a good old spin. Oh, you can't see. Gerald, you're up, buddy. Okay, let's do this. But first, I need to pick the two books that I want him to pick from. So, it's got to be out of Infinity Sun and what am I in the mood for? God's Grave. Out of these two. Alright, is this angle going to work? You are balanced on a rocking chair, which is in nature unstable. Where are you, Gerald? There you are, you're behind the filter. There you are, Gerald. Okay, so God's Grave and Infinity Sun. I'm going to wait till he gets to the middle so he can swim either side. Oh, he's in the middle. Which one, buddy? God's Grave or Infinity Sun? And he is not sure, and he's going towards God's Grave, and he's going towards God's Grave, and he's going on in Ooh. Okay, God's Grave. I'm actually kind of happy and excited about this one. So if you don't know, this is, oh my god. Apologies in advance for all the sniffles. This is book 2 in, I actually don't know, is it 3 books? I think it's 3 books now. The Nevernight series by Kristoff. And we follow a main character called Mia Colvert, and the first book you follow her as she goes to like an assassin's school, and it ends on a real cliffhanger that you do not see coming from anywhere. So this picks up from that. I remember hearing a review talking about how sometimes Kristoff's writing, especially in this series, can be problematic because he talks about permanently altering one's female body in order to become more feminine for the male gaze in terms of having, oh, eyelash. In terms of getting the equivalent of a plastic surgical boob job, so that she is becoming a better seductress or something. Granted, I'll be honest, my mind completely glossed over that when I read it for the first time, so I'm intrigued to keep my mind open for that in this book. Anyway, enough wobbling, I'm going to actually read. Okay, reading break. I need to start preparing dinner. But before I do that, on Sunday, another thing that I did was create a carrot cake. I've been trying to bake every weekend, something new, because baking is something I love to do, but just haven't found the time to do it. But I need to very thoroughly wash my hands and blow my nose not in that order, and prepare dinner. Oh, they opened them. We found Cheeto, the flaming hot ones, but they're like the puffs. Okay, let's try. Kind of nice, but at the same time they don't really have a flavour. The flavour is just tingly. Back to reading, I suppose. The boys have gone out to get dinner, so I feel like I can talk without interrupting their game. I'm up to page 56 of God's Grave, and so far so good. Oh, I just need to feed Gerald. Aside from like completely forgetting how brutal Kristoff is with his words in this one, I forgot also how intricate his world building can be, as well as the footnotes he has on the bottom of his pages. And I remember those footnotes in the very first book being a little bit of a like hindrance to me. It was like an interruption to the flow of the book, but I remember also it taking a while for me to get used to. Sorry, can you tell? My brain is absolutely everywhere. And I'm definitely finding that's the case here as well. Like the footnotes definitely do take me away from like what's mainly happening in the book, but at the same time the footnotes add insight and humour, so I don't want to skip over them. So it's almost like when I get to the asterisk, which takes me to the footnote, I'm like, oh no, like I wish I could just kept reading, but I get FOMO. Anyway, aside from that aspect, the story itself has picked up where it's left off really well, and I definitely think I would have benefited from reading this a lot sooner, because I read Nevernight at least a couple of years ago now, so I am grateful that Kristoff had as much recap in here as he did. I thought that was a nice thing for him to do, quite considerate of his readers. And Mia is as badass as ever. Definitely though, after I know I said something about the language and the smut, the actual first few chapters in this are a very graphic scene between 3 people, and it definitely just reminded me, definite adult book. But anyway, I'm going to keep reading until the boys come home with dinner, and I'll update you when hopefully I'm not so nasally and I actually have some coherent thoughts. Oh my gosh, maybe I should think before I open my mouth, eh? Morning team. So I'm actually feeling a lot better in my like nose headache, like sinus headache area, and you can actually kind of hear that in my throat, but I am still a bit croaky, so still took the day off work because it's best to recuperate, especially in this climate of illness. So we're still at home, but I thought I'd give you a quick update. I stayed up quite late last night reading because I just couldn't fall asleep, so I managed to get to page 275 of God's Grave, so that is how much I've read, and I'm really loving it so far. Definitely gotten used to Kristoff's writing style and his humour, and also I forgot how much I loved the interactions between Maya's 2 daemon shadow things that are attached to her, because she's got the like dog wolf and the like cat, and they just don't really get along, so it's really funny reading about them. But in terms of the plot, I think it is definitely a bit slower than the last one, but fast enough that it kept me intrigued. But in the meantime, I'm going to eat this. It's my first ever smoothie bowl, and watch Freddie My Love on YouTube, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay, here's the situation. It's midday. I'm still in my pyjamas, but the glass recycling needs to go out and the boys didn't do it, so that's what I'm doing now. But I had to check to see if the glass had been done or not, and there were construction workers out there, and then I got all scared because I was like, oh, I don't want them to see me and judge me. I'm still in my pyjamas in the middle of the day. But you know what, it doesn't matter. So here's my recycling, and I just need to go put it out, and then I can put the glass bin out. Cool. I mean, there's hardly anything in it is even worth it, but I feel like I've committed now. Those people in that van be judging. Why is this so awkward? Okay, but mission accomplished. Hey guys, so update, it is now 3 p.m. and I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still a bit nasally, but my headache has gone because I decided I needed some fresh air. So I went and did a little bit of op shopping and I picked up 3 items I just want to share. The first thing I got is this kind of, let me hold it up, sheer blouse in this gorgeous floral pattern. So I will need to wear something underneath it, as you can tell. Let's see if I can show you. You can see my fingers through it there, but I just need to fix up a little button. But I thought it was a really nice floral print because it's very earth tony, which is what I am currently vibing at the moment. I then picked up this white blouse, and I picked this one up because the little cuff pattern sold it, and it also has that pattern on the bottom, although I tend to tuck in all my clothes. And I don't know what brand this one is, but I feel it's pretty old because it's got these really floppy shoulder pads, which I'm just going to chop out. And then the last thing I got is really cute. This is kind of my editing me zoom in on that. This is kind of like when I want to feel more girly and a bit more feminine. I got this dress, and it has the most gorgeous like blue floral pattern on it with a cute little hem and this ruffle detail. At first I thought the elastic would feel a bit like too choky and uncomfortable, but after just wearing it a while in the changing room, it's not actually too bad, and I can't wait to style this with some like chunky boots or something similar. So that's a little bit of a random impromptu op shop haul. Throw a comment down below if you want me to keep sharing those kind of little hauls with you. And then reading wise, after my bath, I managed to get to page 300, so I've got only about a quarter left, and the pace is good. Things are starting to get a bit more climaxy, I feel. Not in the climaxy way that Kristoff likes to talk about, apparently. Seriously, there are some intense scenes in here. But I'm liking it so far, and honestly, I'm just going to try sit down and finish it now. Okay, so I finished God's Grave, and whew, that was a whirlwind. Like, where do I even start? So for sure, there are definitely a lot of questions at the end of this one left hanging, lots of loose threads. So I'm obviously going to tie those up with reading the final installment in the trilogy. Overall, I think my enjoyment for this book was a little bit less than the original. I thought the first part of the book was a bit hard for me to get into because it did swap between past and present Mia Culver's life, and also I thought that the romance for Mia and her interest didn't feel very genuine to me at times. It was very kind of lusty, not lovey, which although I can appreciate in a, in a proper romance or in a different scenario for the characters, this felt like it was trying to be love, but it just wasn't pulled off that way. So what my plan is now is I am going to go through and do my rating scale for both Clockwork Orange and God's Grave, and I will leave a little rating up somewhere on the screen. Hopefully you're looking at it right now, and these are the stars that I ended up giving each of these books, and I have broken down the rating I gave each letter of the acronym so you can see in detail my thoughts per section. With it being quite a bit late in the evening here, I am going to wrap up this vlog. Thank you if you are still here. I mean, why? But thank you. I know it's been a messy vlog, but I've actually had quite a bit of fun filming it. But anyway, with all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a cheeky like and subscribe down below, and enjoy all the places you go on your own reading adventures. Bye.